Welcome to the VarsityKansas.com Prep Football Preview. I'm Joanna Chadwick. This is Tony Adame. We are going to break down this week's football games for you. We start off Thursday night, North against Southeast, and North with a shot. If they win this game, they'll go into that Junction City game next week. Both of them likely sitting at 2-0, and they're in the playoffs.
It's amazing. We'll take advantage of this last year of districts North High.
Exactly, because that would give them 2 wins on the year. Yeah. Campus and West. You know, I'm intrigued by this game. I love the idea of the high passing game of Campus and Colby Leeper and West Highs. Let me just run it down your throat.
Colby Leeper has been a phenomenon this year. He's been for a team with 2 wins. He's been a big story. We talk about him every week. He could go over 2,000 passing yards this season.
I mean, they're in their games because of their ability to pass and catch the ball so well. All right, looking back quickly at last week, Dodge City against Northwest last week. Tony was out there. He'll get to see Northwest against Garden City this week. Why don't you break that one down?
Well, Garden City's got a great defense. It was interesting. Northwest rallied to beat Dodge City. They were surprised after the game. The score was coming in, that 14-2 win over Hutchinson for Garden City. 2 unbeaten teams. Northwest, the biggest thing is, will Kevin Folsom play? They've got a lot of talented kids, but they showed against Dodge City. They got behind. They got in a hole early. Without him, he steps on. He throws like Jordana Ventura off his back one good leg and leads them to a win. So his status, how well he feels, will be the total difference in that game.
I mean, the kid is, when you talk about someone being the catalyst, someone being that special, he is that special. And it's not like he's the only player on that team. I mean, Tony Joyner and Jalil Rounds, we talk about them, every week, and rightfully so. But look at that receiving core with Alex Bott, more than 500 receiving yards, Martise Mullins. And then, of course, the backs are able to catch the ball, too.
There's so many talented players, but he is the leader. He is the team, as Steve Martin said, their coach, the heart and soul of the team. He's the one that makes them go. All those guys are great, but, he's the one.
And I think we saw in Game 1 when they beat Carroll is just how good that offensive line is because Carroll consistently turns out incredible defensive line, and they were able to kind of hold their own there.
Yeah, they did.
All right, moving on to May South at Carroll. I got to see May South last week, and it's a good team. Corey Frausto is a game changer. He is a playmaker. He is great to watch. And Bishop Carroll has their own. And Jake Allen and Adam Tice, I love what they've been able to do. And I think that May South is going to transition maybe a little bit more difficult, have a little more difficulty transitioning into that game because Carroll is just at a different level.
Yeah, and it's such a big leap for May South, such a big leap to ask them to go win against a team like that and at Carroll too, which is obviously one of the toughest environments to play in the state of Kansas.
I mean, that's a game you might want to show up at 5:30 just to get in line because both sides are going to be packed.
Yeah, it'll be huge. Yeah, May South will come out big too.
They're both 6-1, and Carroll's on a 6-game win streak. All right, Halstead at Garden Plain. This is a game that I'm going to be at. I am so looking forward to this game. I'm going to have to find out some information on Garden Plain, though not quite sure right now about Alex Becker's status. He did not play on Friday night. They beat Hutch Trinity 12-0. No passing yards there. They got 180 rushing yards, and they were able to win. But I don't think that they can do that against a Halstead team, which kind of took us all by storm last year as they made their run to the 3A semifinals and bring back Eli McKee and Blake Beckett. It'll be very interesting to see, especially, this is a team that's outscoring teams 45-5. All right, Wichita South at Derby, and Derby has done what we continue to expect them to do. And, I think that where Wichita South is really going to run into problems here is just going up against that Derby defense.
Yeah, and you made a good point about turnovers earlier with South. 13 turnovers in the last 3 games, but it's not only the turnovers, it's where they're happening at. They're turning the ball over in the red zone.
Yeah, and Derby, their offense, no joke, in their last 4 games since their loss to Mill Valley, they've scored 222 points. That's an average of 55 points a game.
Wow.
So, yes, Capon at Andover. And Capon, how about Capon getting the win? Brock Monty, very good game, as usual. Alexander Norris, incredible game, running the ball. But Brock Monty seals the win where?
On defense.
On defense. Love it. And, talk a little bit about how Coach Brock doesn't play there all game.
He's not a full-time defensive player, but he's someone who, clutch situations when they need somebody to make a play back there, he is their best athlete. So they'll put him at safety. They'll put him at defensive back. He can win a game for you on either side of the ball.
I love players like that. Andover, tough season. They had 3 close losses when you look at their losses this year, but they're gonna have a difficult time being able to stop that Capon offense. I think.
Yeah, lose by 1 point to Eisenhower, 2 points to Goddard, 6 points to Valley Center. Close games, but the teams they're losing too close aren't great teams either. So
All right, Emporia at Heights, and Heights, they got a good win over Andover last week with Rodney Murphy, 5 touchdowns. This is a kid, he only has 72 carries, and he's been rushing for more than 700 yards. The kid has crazy amount of speed, and I hope that we see more of him as the season continues.
He's got the hot hand late in the year. You got to figure they'll ride him and keep it on the ground. They have a good running quarterback, but with him, man, it can't hurt to get him 20 or 30 carries a game.
And frankly, this is a team that's really, talk about under the radar.
Yeah.
Maybe Carroll's under the radar because they lost to Northwest to start the year. Heights 5-2 lost to Carroll and to South, and you can't count them out.
They've been scrapping, so yeah.
All right, Cheney and Chaparral, is led by Jacob Jenkins. Their only loss was a real tough one, 5 points to Garden Plain on October 2nd. Mm-hmm. Cheney, they beat Conway last week, and I know people might say Conway's sitting there with 3 losses. It's still Conway. It's still a very good win. And
it's big for Cheney because this year they haven't been to the state tournament for so long, and Corey Brack is in his 4th year. So this is his first full class, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, that he's seen all the way through, and there's an attachment there, and I think it's a pretty strong bond. They want to do this for him. He wants to do it for them, so kind of interesting motivation there.
And isn't it fun to watch those teams where it's clear that not only does the coach really care about his team, but they care about him. There's that connection. And we've seen the teams that are successful where there isn't a connection. I don't think they have as much fun.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. It's better if you like your coach.
Most definitely. And looking at Mulvane at Wellington, Mulvane with a tough loss last week to an incredibly good Ulysses team. But again, Jaden Price, he puts that team in a position to win, sort of like Colby Leeper will do, just with his ability to move that ball through the air. And he's got a receiver like Ethan Evans.
Yep, second generation Mulvane,
right.
Wide receiver, yeah.
That's right. Well, thanks so much for watching our show, and enjoy your week of football.